Hey everyone, it's M4J here, and welcome back to the new M4J network here on openttd. We're here at Bahecity Central. You may have noticed some things have changed. First of all, we've got trams galore. This is an accident actually, but I've decided to, or chose to record this episode right in the middle of peak time. So we've got trams every, I want to say on each service it's every 5 minutes, but it might actually be more frequent than that. But we have on average 4 trams stopping here at any one moment. If I get up the departure window here, you see there's 3 there at the moment, and there's a 4th one that will arrive shortly, and then one heading in the opposite direction as well. You'll also notice that the tram stop itself looks a little bit different. I moved the bypass track out to the western edge here, the water's edge, and that's used for reversing trams, ones that are terminating and then heading back in the opposite direction. And you'll also notice that the roofs here are different. I finally followed the advice of Master Trams and actually downloaded the latest JGR new GRF, which is called, that's the AI mark, try that again. It is called JGR, there it is, Road Stops and Waypoints 3.2, which suggests there are 3.1 before this that I forgot to download for whatever reason. Now, I like this a lot. If I open up this, you will see what it adds. So normally you just had the default ones. Now you have all of these. Look at that. These are all tram stops, by the way. These aren't just like railway stations or anything. These are all tram stops designed to look like various different railway station buildings. So there's the Hungarian ones, we've got the Japanese, the Dutch, there's some subway ones as well, so if you wanted to you could build them underground, which was actually very tempting to do here were it not for the fact that everything else is at a slightly lower or higher level. However, at Sanley this could be possible. We've also got overlapping ones, which again very tempting, but wasn't able to do it here. Other stations are the ones that I've actually used here, the roof section here, and also that one. Then you've got one-way stations, which aren't actually one-way, but they look cool regardless. And then empty grounds, which is, I guess you could just put eye candy in and things like that. Yeah, I like it. I think it's really cool. Don't know why those ones are missing. Maybe I don't have the new GRF that comes with them. It's excellent. It is excellent. Now, these 2 trams down here are highlighting exactly what the purpose of today's video is going to be. Despite me trying to get trams to run at a fair distance apart, unfortunately, they do still get in each other's way. Now, once they get to Bahecity Central here, it becomes less of an issue. But considering the core, as it I guess is correctly named, that runs between, well, in this case, it runs between St Bernard's there, and up here it runs to Lower Walks. That's causing issues because there's just too many trams basically. And look here, they queue up here as well. We need to have less trams running through the core section here. We need to split them up a little bit more. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to move the core. Now the core ultimately is going to be a maximum, say, of 2 stops. Or at least one either side of Bahecity Central. So Bahecity City Hall, which is in there, and this one, which I believe is Linden Gardens. That's the limit. How I'm going to do this is by splitting things up a little bit more. So already you can see there's 3 tram stops here, plus the 4th one here. The way I'm going to achieve this new routing, as it were, is to move this line so that it actually runs straight down this street, over this bridge, and then runs through, is it Greninghead Cross? Let me get the station names and the town names back on. There we go. And yeah, it's going to run through Greninghead Cross via a different alignment, and then it's going to come back this way and connect up. And I think it's actually going to connect up before Bahecity City Hall when heading away from Bahecity Central. In the opposite direction, here we're going to do something similar. We're actually going to have a line that branches off here. It's going to drop down. It's then going to run underneath the railway into Trentborough, and this is actually going to be the line that I think actually the line that runs through Bahecity Hardham, and the line Wait, sorry. I had this all planned out and now I've forgotten half of it. So there's 4 termini here. There's Frentbourne Interchange. There's Bahecity Rinfingley Airport Terminal 2. There's Terminal 1. And there's Slongfingford Interchange. And it's around this area where we end up with a lot of traffic because it all congregates at this T-junction here. And then this separate line here, this is just for empty stock movements to and from the depot, which is also looking pretty stacked. And actually, thanks to this, I believe there is a way now where I can, I suppose that kind of looks a bit depot-y, but there are some other ones that I can use. Where are they? I had my eye on them before, and then I turned the game off, which is, I guess, my fault. I suppose some of these ones even could be depot resembling. But yeah, the plan is to make the depot look more depot-like, was what I was going to say. But I think one of the lines, quite possibly the one from Slongfingford Interchange here, I think that could actually join up over here before St Bernard's, and then we'll have those 2 lines run down this way into Bahecity Central. I think the other 3, especially the one here that runs through Bahecity Hardham, I think that would actually, Hardlime Street will get reconfigured to run this way, and then it will come across here underneath the railway, and then actually run through the western end of Trentborough, and then connect up with the other line here that's then going to run this way, this way, this way, and then the one from Frentbourne would, instead of going through Longmarket, I think it would actually take a new alignment this way, head through the eastern side of Trentborough, and then through the centre of Trentborough, and connect up, and then head to Bahecity Central. I think that would work better. On this side, the northern side here, it's kind of a similar thing, because we've got like 4 lines that all branch off this way. So there's this one, which then splits in half again at Sunset Square. There's also this one that runs down through Tarnley, and then this one splits in half, with half going down here to Slayburg Springs, and the other half coming up here to Bruntberg. Now, the danger I have right here is the fact that most of these lines here now are actually operational. We have trams running along them. So, I need to try and get all of this done without disturbing the existing service patterns too greatly. So we're still going to have the same thing of like Frentbourne Interchange up to Pughburg Interchange, but we're going to try and split the branches either side of Bahecity Central a little bit better. I also today would like to get the depot over here at Great Buntbourne built. That might not end up happening. Maybe instead we build the one down here at Punley Market and get this line operational instead. That could end up being a better option, to be honest, because I think down here we could build a big tram depot and then have things connected up and yeah, working a little bit better. And again, we could have empty stock movements using tram lines that already I can kind of see which direction they would take. So like this way, around this way. The only thing is this reversing loop then becomes a little bit redundant, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay. I want to try and get the first couple of lines over here built first, because I've got a plan in my head that I'd like to stick to, and we'll see how well that actually functions. Also, I would like to get Frentbourne on side so that Frentbourne Interchange can then actually see an extension into Frentbourne itself and maybe even down into Bredham. That would be cool. Although again, that might end up being a bit of a distraction. So that's not a massive one on the priority list right now. But yeah, getting these extra branches in is definitely on the priority list. So let's get going and see how much we can actually get done. Okay, just really quickly, going to break up the time lapse here. So what I want to do is have T2 and Slongfingford Interchange still connect over here, because I think T2 is actually going to run a slightly less frequent service than it currently does. Are there 3 trams there at the moment? No, I think there is just... I want to say there is just 2, but I think there is actually 3 there, which is not part of the plan. Although with the new style of tram stop, I could actually redesign this to have 2 stops there and it becomes less of an issue. So yeah, I want T2 and Slomfingford interchange to become this line here that runs through Old Town Yards, Iron Square and things like that. T1, I kind of want it to carry on running this way, but at some point, maybe here, actually come down a different alignment and form a new branch, and then have that join up somewhere. This is where it gets tricky, because I kind of want the existing branch to head further north and then across and join up just before Bahecity Hardham, and then the T1 branch joins up with the Frentbourne interchange branch and actually runs this way and then this way. So I need to join the two lines together somewhere, and that's possibly going to be via the T2 connection, actually, because I think there's less stops that it would have to run through then. Although saying that, I think it might actually be the same. And then in order to not mess up what's going on here, I think I'm going to rebuild the line and then move these stops over so that the existing services can carry on using them. I think that's probably going to be a better way to do things. I think. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's my plan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, here we are then. Southern side, I think, is done. So to summarise, we've now got two branches that split just after Bahecity Central. One runs east through these stops that I haven't yet renamed, and then at Hardham branch, technically here at Hawkside, which I might actually move to the other side of the junction, but then I've got to do some more rejigging with the order list. It splits again. One branch comes down here to Frentbourne interchange, the other branch runs through Long Market, Plant Walk, Lower Track, places like that, into Slonfingford, up here, and then to Bahecity Rinfingley Airport Terminal 1. Terminal 2 and Slonfingford interchange meet here at Mandrake Crossing, which I'm going to keep as a four-way interchange just for operational flexibility. So we could in theory have a line in the future that runs along this way. Where does it turn? Oh, here. And then instead of going to Slonfingford Discovery Way, it actually turns west and heads down to Slonfingford interchange via these routes here. I think that's a good idea. And then they run down through the old stops, and then here again I've left this line in for operational flexibility. These two branches then run via Bahecity Hardham. It should just be the two, 03 and 04. Yep, that appears to be the case. I'm not seeing ones and twos, which is good. Nope, I thought I saw a 2 then, but I didn't. and then they run up this way to Linden Gardens and then to Bahecity Central. Now, Greyfriars Grove here, I think I'm actually going to move... Actually, I might leave Greyfriars Grove, and I will leave this line here as well. But this branch here, I'm actually going to have turn north and then east again, or west again, sorry, run through Senningbury and then join up just before Linden Gardens. So I'm going to build that one here on camera, just so you can see me work my magic, he says, with the world's biggest head. There we go. And this is going to be all street running. There's no point doing dedicated running here. And then we'll come down this way. And then at Bahecity Senningbury here, we're going to turn this way and then down this way. And then there's where we connect up again. And then as for the stops, we'll put one just after the bridge here. We'll put one just outside the station here, but not actually connected to the station. We'll definitely put one in the center of Senningbury here. I would love to put one up here. And I wanted to put one there as well, but that's not actually a good spot. Actually, that is a good spot for one. There. This isn't a good spot for one. But I've done it now, so I might as well keep it. I think in terms of catchment, they just about avoid overlapping, I think. So actually, that does kind of work out quite well. And then the line from Slayburg will actually take this line through Senningbury. And again, it means that they don't actually meet until Linden Gardens here. And therefore, the core route through Bahecity Central might get busy, but as things separate and spread out, it should make things a little bit better. And to be honest, I could have done that again here at Trentborough. So after Senningbury Halt, I could have had a line come this way and then through Trentborough this way, which I did think I said I was going to do, actually, didn't I? This one here was going to come this way, and then I found a better way of doing it. So yeah, I think that could work quite well. I could, in theory, build another branch this way and then up and then have it rejoin over here. Or I could have the Frentbourne and the T1 lines go their separate ways again, maybe after Harden Branch, and run through. I don't know. I think that might be overkill a little bit, but we'll see. Right, we've now got to do something similar on the northern side here. So right now, every single line that runs north will run through all of these stops as far as Lower Walks before splitting. We're going to change that, and we're basically going to do the same thing as we've done just now. I am going to actually have a branch head out towards Renway, and maybe even to Coningston. Just because, I mean, Renway is already connected, so that one makes more sense. How that's going to work with everything else, though, I don't yet know. So that one might be an afterthought as well. The big issue here is we are kind of fenced in a little bit by the lake here. And I don't want to build big bridges across the lake, because it'd be really easy to go, hey, let's just build a massive bridge across like this. But that's not really what I want to do here. So I'm not going to do that, because I want to try and keep as much of the landscape intact here as possible, which I know is rich considering I normally come through, you know, bulldozers galore. But yeah, this time around I want to try and preserve as much of the landscape here as possible. So I think the plan here is just before Bahecity City Hall, we're going to branch down this way, and then we're going to head through Greninghead Cross down this road, because this road pretty much runs the entire length undisturbed. One of these bridges here, in fact it's this one here, I'm going to do this now so I don't forget, we're going to cross over the river. And then this is going to be the line that comes down through Brookside and then eventually splits when it gets to Great Bruntbourne. Sorry. And then when we do the depot up here, we're going to run the same frequency, but at half. I'm going to try and explain this using my words here, because I'm probably going to get it wrong. Basically, I want it to run at the same frequency as all the other lines, but because there's two branches here instead of one, instead of running every 5 minutes to Great Bruntbourne Docks, it's going to run every 10 minutes, and then because of that, it will not interchange. I can't even think of the word anymore. It's very hot in here, and it's also quite late at night me recording this right now. I almost said it then. It will, one will go this way, one will go that way. Whatever that word is. I've completely forgotten. I'm so good at my job. Yeah, and then alternate. It will alternate. That's the word. I kept trying to think of a word beginning with I. That's not right at all. It will alternate between Great Westview and Great Bruntbourne Docks. So that in theory, from Great Divide down to I guess wherever this line will end up going, there will be a tram, every 5 minutes and every 10 minutes during peak hours, off-peak hours, things like that. But then at the ends here, it will be half of that frequency so that it creates the frequency through the central section. I think that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. I am so sorry that I've forgotten how to speak English today. But yeah, that's my plan. So, what I'm going to do with the other lines I don't yet know. I think what I could try and do, because I don't want there to be any overlap between these two sets of branches, but what I'm tempted to do actually is build a line this way that actually tunnels under the main building here at Bahecity Central and then forms another branch this way, and then that's the one that actually becomes the Great Buntbourne branches, and then the central one will cross underneath here and will become the one that runs up this way, and then the Tarnley one will turn south here maybe and then run along the existing route here. That could work. Or if I could find a way to cross under the railway here, actually I could do that. So maybe if I move these stops, Crooks Cross, Slurry Street, just to keep the names and the assignments, and then I'll have another line that comes straight up this way and then runs underneath the bridges here, and then that's the one that runs up through Fort Dronford, and then this one can actually be preserved as running out to New Rendhattan, and the other, actually there's still two here, isn't there? Oh, this is tough, because actually this one up here splits as well. Huh. This is really tough. I didn't think it would be this tough. I think I might have a solution though. Because again, if you run a line under here and then up into this section of the city, down through Garhatton here, and then running into Slurry Street, that's one branch. It's just there's a lot of space here. You could in theory have this one run this way and then straight down and across the river here. And then we could have 3 branches that run through Grenninghead Cross. Grenninghead Cross, by the way, they hated me a couple of episodes ago. They're going to absolutely adore me by the end of this one. The amount of tram lines I'm flooding through here. But I think one this way, one that runs under a tunnel here and then heads up this street. And then I think 3 here is enough. With the splits and everything, I think that will be enough, because technically this one here splits into 2, but I could miss that out by having this one just run straight across, and then this just becomes the line down to Slayberg Springs, maybe, but then this will have to be rerouted this way as well. Oh my, yeah, this could be tricky. Okay, I'm going to start building, and we're going to see how this is going to turn out. This could be fun. This could be really fun, or this could be absolutely horrific. Let's find out, shall we? Okay, so I've been thwarted by the local authorities here slightly, but my principle here, I think, is actually a good one. So the plan now is to join this line here up to this one here, and actually join it up. Whoopsie doodle. Join it up properly. This is just going to carry on running north here, and then this one is going to form the. So this lower branch here, Quartz Quarter, Whitefriars, Lower Walks, Grange Precinct, that's going to form the line that then runs up through Fort Dronford and onwards. But I am going to move. Actually, no, sorry, it's not. No, it's not. Things are going to change here a little bit. Let's build this under here. Actually, even that, even all this just feels wrong now. So the new Rendhattan interchange, that's fine. That's going to become the line. In fact, that already is the line, I believe, that runs down through Tarnish Drive and things like that, right? So, what are you, 303? No, 03. Oh, my days. It's the heat. I'm blaming the heat. I'm 100% blaming the heat. That's going to remain the middle line. So wherever... How have I done this? Bruntberg, Rendhatten interchange, and Puberg interchange are all connected up. That's correct. Yes. Right. I'm back on track. I know what's happening. So, I need the branch to Puberg interchange to deviate somewhere around here, maybe, run underneath here, and then that's going to form the middle line, the one that runs up this way. This one here is going to run up to Great Buntbourne via Brookside. This one's still technically going to run via Brookside, I suppose, but with less stops. And it's going to run into Garhatton and then along... I think it's going to skip out Fort Dronford. It's actually going to run underneath this way. And then here it's going to split, and even that doesn't feel right to me, because then how does the Fort Dronford branch connect? Because there is no branch to Fort Dronford then, if that's the case. So that will need to change, he says. Wow, I am so confusing myself right now with all of this. It's because of the way this works. There's the actual line runs under here, under these bridges here. And then it splits here at Books Crescent. And then that line splits at Bronberg South Walk. And then I think from there it doesn't split again, which is fine. One to Bruntberg, one to Slayberg Springs. Yes, correct. Books Crescent, though, splits again here at Sunset Square, with one line heading down to New Rendhatten Interchange. The other line heads through Fort Dronford to Sergeant's Transept, where it splits again, and that's where I'm getting confused. And one line runs to Trendhatton, and one line runs to Puberg Interchange. Right, that's where I'm getting confused. So this line here is going to be the one that heads this way and then down. This one is going to carry on as is, but it is no longer going to split at Sunset Square, I don't think. I think actually what I want it to do is run up to Fort Dronford, and then somewhere around there it will split. And then that branch will run along and down again, just to justify having Fort Dronford still exist. Possibly. Because then the line to Trendhatton and New Rendhatten Interchange can function. Oh man, I really am struggling with this plan right now. It's because of the way the branches split. It isn't very good. I can't really work out what I was thinking here. So we've got, how many destinations have we got? That's a good way to work this out. So we've got Slayberg Springs, 1. Bahecity Bruntberg Airport, 2. New Rendhatten Interchange, 3. Trendhatton, 4. And then Puberg Interchange, 5. And we've got 2 branches in which to do it, because this one is going to run up this way and split into 2 again, which is fine. We know that. So we've got 2 branches to split into 5. And I think having this one come down this way and split into 2, that one kind of works. And then the other one's got to come up and split into 3, which again kind of works. And I guess the best way to do that then is have this one come up this way and then along this way, and then at Fort Dronford or whatever the stop is going to be before the split here, basically. That's going to be how it works. I think I've got my head around this now, everyone. I think I've got my head around this. You can almost hear like the "way" meme that people use. But yeah, excuse my terrible impression of a meme as well. I'm going to go ahead and get this done. Let's do it. Okay. We now have 4 branches that span out to the north from Guard City Central, but I think... Turn that off. I think this will work better. Now, hopefully, local authorities will start hating me again. I do like the challenge of having to keep the local authorities happy. I just didn't want the video to grind to a halt whilst I actually made that so. Now, have I rerouted all of these correctly? I think the answer is yes, but let's just check. So if I select Bahecity Trams, Bahecity Tram number 1. So this one should run successfully now from Bahecity Rinfingley Airport Terminal 1. Should run out via Aviation Walk, Orchid Range, Discovery Way, Miller's Retreat, Tanner's Parade, and then so on and so forth. And then it will run east this way. It will skip Bahecity Hardham. It will run round this way into Trentborough, where it will join up with the Frentbourne interchange, which I am actually, I think, going to reroute at some point. Where I'm going to reroute that, I don't know. It's probably going to be a mixture of both of these routes are going to be rerouted. But again, not a clue. Not a clue. I think this one's going to come south and then this way. Maybe through some of this and then down across this bridge here and then run this way. And then this one is just going to carry on this way into Frentbourne. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. Anyway, for now, it runs through Trentborough into Bahecity Central, out of Bahecity Central via the City Hall, Courts Quarter, across the bridge through Whitefriars, and then underneath here, round this way. This connection here is going to get removed momentarily. Through Bahecity Tarnley and then around the Gronberg loop here. I think a second crossing of Gronberg here might actually be useful as well. We'll see. And then down to Bruntberg Airport. Now you do actually need to have your timetable redone. So we're going to set you to autofill. We'll sort this out in just a second. We'll get scheduled dispatch up as well. Actually, for now, I'm going to stick that underneath. Right, number 2. You start over at Frentbourne Interchange. You run also via the Trentborough Loop to Bahecity Central. From Bahecity Central, you then come out along the 3rd of the northern branches here, through the western edge of Brookside, and then down through Fort Dronford via the new connection that we've got here. I think it is just the one line here that goes through Fort Dronford right now. Yeah, seems to be. And then after Fort Dronford, you continue north here, and then you end up at Puberg. So you are the interchange line, essentially. And it looks like you are working correctly as well, which is good. And again, just like before, we're going to autofill you. And I'm actually going to remove that one for a second, because the priority really is to get these re-autofilled and nothing else. Number 3. You are a slightly tricky one as well. So you start down at Slonfingford, and then you run all the way through the centre of Slonfingford. You then run down the new line here, which was the old line, but is technically the new line, if any of that makes sense. You run through Hardham. You also run through all of this stuff. And then you run into Linden Gardens and then Bahecity Central. From here, you come out through City Hall, through Courts Quarter, and then you run on this new line, which takes you not to Fort Dronford, but actually this way. And then you end up down at New Rendhattan. That also looks fine. And again, we'll autofill you. And the 4th one, I have just come up with a solution for where this one will get routed, which I'm actually quite happy with. So I'm going to quickly sort that out, and then we can start wrapping up this episode. Do you know what? Actually, scratch what I was going to do. What I was going to do was run it up along this way through Brookside into Fort Dronford, and then actually have it deviate here and run down to Trenthattan. But I don't like the idea of it sharing so much track. So I'm almost tempted to find a way maybe to have one of these other branches work and have it run along there instead, and then have it flick across. But even that I'm not 100% supporting of right now. So I think having it terminate at Bahecity Central is actually fine. And therefore I don't believe I need to redo this one. No. I might do anyway, but it doesn't need to be done. But we'll just keep it like this. Oh, there is one other thing though that I need to do over here, which is remove that and redo the stops over here. So I think it was other that came under, and it's this one. Yeah, and then if I do that in the same, it's kind of similar. It's not perfectly identical, but it's similar enough. So if I now unpause the game, and if we let these autofill, hopefully it will run without anything getting in the way. And I will need this here to, in fact, I could just move these manually, couldn't I? Skip. There's 3 here, which is insane. Skip. And you. Skip. Right. Replace you. And replace you. There we go. Okay. This now hopefully should all work. If I autofill you as well, just for the sake of completionism, this should all refill. This should all work better. It should all be hunky-dory. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. I have no idea how long this is going to take to autofill. I'm recording this at just before 10 PM right now. So, yeah, I want to go to bed. And I probably might let this autofill the next hour or so and see how it gets on. We shall see. Right now, though, I think this episode is complete. So, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And, of course, if you're enjoying the series so far. If you've got any ideas for future episodes, be sure to drop them in the comments down below. That's always very, very helpful. I'm also going to go and rename a lot of these stops as well. So I would say if you've got ideas for stop names, drop them down below. But I think actually I've got it covered. So I appreciate the ideas, but might not need them right now. We'll see. But yeah. Oh, one other thing. You might have seen me manually typing in the stop times right now. There's a reason that I did it manually and didn't just do the whole control click and do that kind of thing. And the main reason is because you might have noticed now that we're operating in units here of 990. No longer am I doing 1 minute, 30 seconds. Well, you can do 30 seconds, which is actually what I'm getting onto in a second. It's not 1 minute, 10 minutes, 5 minutes or anything like that anymore. It's all done in ticks. So 1980 ticks is 1 minute. So, excuse me, 29,700 ticks is 15 minutes, and then 990 ticks here, that's not 5 minutes, that's 30 seconds. We now have vehicles that can stop on 30 seconds, which I think is really, really good. And the reason we've done that is because trains are coming. Master Trams has started submitting timetables to me, or at least SRTs and things like that. We will form timetables from those, hopefully, and we will get trains running on the network very, very shortly, which I am incredibly excited about. So that's why I was doing it like that, and that's why from now on, in fact, we'll be prepping lines and things again to get trains running, which hopefully will be soon. Hopefully. Let me just remove these stops here as well. I might again leave these lines in situ just in case, but I can't imagine I'm going to need them. I might build another stop here though, so that from Books Crescent to Sunset Square there is somewhere else that trams can stop, but we'll see. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything. I think I legitimately have now run out of things to talk about in this video, which I suppose is a good thing. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you enjoyed the series so far, drop those comments down below with ideas for future episodes. It's always very much appreciated. And if you'd like to come on to the save here and run your own franchise, why not check out my Patreon? Link is in the description. Patrons get access after a month of supporting me to a franchise. I can't actually remember how many franchises it is. The details is on my Patreon though, so do check that out. Besides that, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It really does help me out. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you for your continued support. Like I said, really appreciate it. It really does help me out. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and until next time, I will see you soon.